Hello everyone, Progressive Hoodie. I want to talk a little bit about the debate that we saw on Sunday night. I don't really expect this to be a very long video. To me, the winner of the debate was clearly Bernie Sanders. He shows himself to be really intelligent, to have a really good grasp of all of these different issues. Unlike Joe Biden, he has no problem speaking on the issues. He speaks on them fluently and eloquently because they're issues that he's actually passionate about. He's not just trying to be president to be president. You get the sense that he actually has policy proposals that he wants to accomplish. He has ways that he wants to fundamentally change our nation and push us forward. Into the 21st century. There's nothing really radical about what Bernie Sanders is proposing. And a lot of the people that have voted in the Democratic primary, as exit polls have shown, agree with that assessment. There is nothing radical about it. They agree. They want Medicare for all. Medicare for all has polled well in almost every, I think in every single state that we've done so far, even the ones where Joe Biden has beaten Sanders soundly. And he does a great job of speaking to those issues. He does a great job of getting his point across. Um, there was one moment that I really loved where Joe Biden was like, Bernie Sanders has 9 super PACs, and Sanders was like, oh, really? I have 0. And Biden was like, oh, you want me to list them? Bernie said, go on and list them, bruh. Let's hear them. Let's hear them. And Joe Biden was like, critique, critique. That's what I thought, because obviously he had nothing. And so it was just funny to see that kind of moment. Also, Joe Biden just lies over and over again. I mean, that was his debate strategy. His debate strategy was pretty much to just lie over and over again. I mean, facts that are indisputable. Have you not stood on the floor of the Senate time and time again and called for cuts to Medicare and to Medicaid and Social Security? And no, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. No, I didn't do it. Okay, well, that's just false. It's not even, it's an indisputable fact. There are facts, Joe Biden, but he has absolutely no reality, no, real perspective. We already know his relationship with the facts is just like his memory, fuzzy at best. Oh, and by the way, what are they talking about when they talk about Bernie Sanders' super PAC? We're talking about the Sunrise Movement. We're talking about, Nurses United. We're talking about this, Student Actions US. I mean, this is what we're talking about here. These people-powered political action committees. This is what they're talking about. It's just amazing. Even in a moment like this, the disdain that Biden and all of the establishment has for grassroots. It's just absolutely crazy. There was a press release that Joe Biden did in 1998, basically saying, "Oh, I'm one of the Senate's most conservative, people. I want to limit abortion rights. I want to cut Social Security in order to balance the budget." Bragging about that, and then he goes out on the stage and lies about it. But here's the thing, people. Is the media going to do anything to hold him accountable? No. Which brings me to my next point. We could go point by point and talk about all of the ways that Bernie Sanders was right and Joe Biden was wrong, because it happened over and over again throughout the entire debate from start to finish. And as a result of that, I feel like Bernie Sanders is the winner. So now I'm going to get to the loser. Now, who was the loser of last night's debate? It was Bernie Sanders. Now, how does that work? Why do I think that Bernie Sanders won but lost? Well, because Bernie Sanders won the debate that he didn't need to win. I feel like it was pretty evident last night that Bernie Sanders won the policy debate. But here's the thing. Bernie Sanders has already won the policy debate. That's not what Bernie Sanders needed to do on Sunday. What Bernie Sanders needed to do at that debate in Washington, D.C. on Sunday evening was he needed to go out there and win the electability argument. And when you wait until we're almost, 15 to 10 minutes away from the end of the debate, the last 15 minutes, to finally bring up that you think these issues that you are bringing up with about Biden's judgment throughout this debate, that it could potentially be an issue when it comes to electability, that could hurt his electability. When you wait until the last few minutes to bring up the electability argument, you should have been hammering the electability argument all throughout the debate. Every single thing that he criticized Joe Biden for, he should have tied it right back into electability, doing the exact opposite of what he did before, saying, oh, I think Biden can defeat Donald Trump. That's not the right approach at this point. If you say that, then you might as well drop out of the primary, because at this point, the American public agrees with you, Bernie Sanders, on all of these different issues. But they don't think that you are electable. They see you and they see someone that the American public in the general election is going to think is radical, is going to think is a commie, a red. That's what they see when they look at Bernie Sanders. And as a result, they're not voting for you. State after state, we've seen Joe Biden crush it and just win those elections. But then when they're asked in these exit polls about these critical issues, they say, oh, well, I mean, obviously I agree with Bernie Sanders on policy, but he's not electable. So the most important issue to Americans right now is getting the orange pile of Play-Doh out of office. So you have to stand on that stage and make the argument that I am the person that can do that. And as much as I love Bernie Sanders, he didn't do that. He didn't do that. You can't wait until the last minute of the debate, when the debate's we're about to roll the credits and go, oh, by the way, I think I'm more electable. Dude, it's too late. Half the people have already turned off television. Like, you've got to be making that argument all throughout. So, I found that aspect of the debate last night disappointing, to say the least. I felt like Bernie Sanders took a while to get warmed up, and then he was amazing throughout the middle of it, kind of tapered off a little bit at the end as well. But the bigger issue to me is that he did not make the electability argument. Everything that you say has to be tied back into that at this point. Here, moving forward, they shouldn't be able to interview you without you saying Biden can't beat Trump. There shouldn't be a single interview we ever do where the words Biden cannot beat Trump, Biden will lose to Trump, I am the only one that can defeat Trump. There shouldn't be a single time that you get before a camera or a microphone that those words do not come out of your mouth. And if there is, then you're doing your campaign. All of those contributors who are grassroots, people like me and you watching this video, he's doing all of those people a great disservice, and you're doing the American people a disservice, because we don't need to try to go up against Donald Trump with someone that doesn't even know what day it is or what state he's in. We need a sober-minded individual who can put together a coherent sentence and argument against Donald Trump. And I don't see Biden as being that person. Having said that, Joe Biden did not completely fall apart in Sunday's debate, not at all. So that's it. That's all he needed to do, was to stand up there, not fall apart. And then Sanders even helped him by not making the electability argument against him in a strong enough fashion. So that's about all I have to say about the debate. We'll see what happens with the results. I'll be back tonight to kind of get into some of those results, but I'm not anticipating this being a great night. Florida, I'm hoping that we actually get any delegates out of Florida. So we'll see what happens with that and the other places that chose to have elections during a pandemic. Deuces.